Here we go. All right, we're on now. So what's up, team?
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Happy Monday to you guys. Hope you guys had a great weekend. And we are ready to rock and roll with you guys here on our new week. We are wrapping up. Well, we're kind of on the backside of April already, right? So nice to have you here. Hey, Bonnie, nice to see you joining us this morning. We're excited to chat with you guys today about the week's activities. What's up, Kim? Nice to have you on here. And Lynette and I have these little conversations before we go live. I'm not going to talk about what we were talking about, but it's kind of funny. Maybe we should have another camera going.
Oh, it took me a second to think about what you're talking about. I don't remember. Yeah. No, we don't need to share that.
What's up, Jeff? What's up, Graham? Kim, how are you guys? Nice to see you guys jumping on here with us this morning. Always fun to see the team. What's up, Kimberly? Mandy, hello. So guys, what's up, Iris? Got a lot of our East Coast. Where's our West Coast peeps? They're still sleeping. Watch, the Canada people are going to jump on. What's up, Dan? Nice to see you on here. Glenn, hello. What's going on? Vanessa, what's going on? Nice to have you joining on. So as you guys know, tonight, if you've seen anything inside a Team True Blues post, we're going to do a special training tonight around our green and red lights that we're getting inside of the LifeVantage app. If you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you download the latest version of LifeVantage's app. And tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be doing a webinar with some of the rock stars from Team True Blue, some of the people that have thousands of dollars in customers. And we're going to be talking just the basics of what they're doing, how they're going about their daily methods of operation, how they're acquiring the customers. So make sure you're on there. What's up, Carrie? There's a Canadian.
Well, I mean, just think about how many people on your team that you'd like to see enroll more customers. It's like that trickle effect, right? If people are putting customers in the system, everyone's check is growing. So some of our rock stars on the team are going to share some of the things they're doing. So you're going to want to be on there.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to talk some more about that today. But the whole theme of our call here, our live here with you guys right now, is going to be based on customers, customer acquisition, customer retention. And so before we jump into that, let's talk about the core values though for this week. What's up, Casey? Nice to have you here on. So you guys must have got home safe. We're at core value number 6, which is our team, our company, own it. And as Lynette and I were preparing for today's call, we were talking about, as we were putting together the core values and what they really meant to us. Just remember, these core values are in place so that what you build at LifeVantage and what you build with Team True Blue will last. That's what these core values are about, is that you get a check a year from now. You get a check 10 years from now. And that's why they're in place, so that the people that take over after you have built your business are going to build with the same type of ethics and morals and core values. And so I want to make sure that we're clear with everybody here that Team True Blue is not any one person or people's team, right? It's as much your team as it is anybody else's team. And the way you can kind of show that in your own organization is twofold. One, we're going to talk about the market you live in, and 2, participation inside of our social media market, you could say, or our social media tribes. And there's only really 2. There's Life Biohacked, and there's the one group that we're on right now, Team True Blue. And so if you own something, it's yours. You kind of decide how things are going to go. And as a team, no one person decides how the team is going to go. We have a number of great leaders that Lynette and I work with before we do anything with the team. But what can you do? What can you do as a new distributor or someone that's Pro 1, Pro 2, or even higher to take ownership of the team? And the first thing is inside of our Team True Blue site and our Life Biohack is being active and participating there. Specifically, I'm thinking about Life Biohack under the theme of today's call of acquiring customers and customer retention. And I'm as guilty as anybody for not being as consistent inside of Life Biohack group as I should be. In the last couple days and weeks, I have been more active in there, and it's my purpose, my goal, my intention that I'm going to be in there on a daily basis, either commenting, liking, or maybe even producing new content. I know I produced some new content last week, and I thought about producing new content every day last week. And then I said, no, I don't want to do that because that might send the wrong message. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want you guys to feel as if there's just a handful of people that should be creating the content for Life Biohacked. It would be fantastic if all of you took the attitude that Life Biohacked, the group, belonged to you. Like, it's yours. It's yours. It's not mine. It's not Lynette's. It's not any of the other elite distributors. Life Biohacked, that group, is yours, right? Now, some of you may be saying, well, wait, I don't have control over what's on there. I'm not one of the administrators. Well, that's true. But the people that we do have as administrators or moderators in there are people who in the past have taken ownership of that group in their participation. And the same will happen for you if we see you commenting on a regular basis, if we see you producing new content that we can add. Because one thing for sure is that, I think it's core value number 2, it is that we provide all people an equal opportunity for impact. And so there's nothing holding you back. All of you right here, everybody in your team, there's nothing holding you back from being the #1 contributor in Life Biohacked. There's nothing holding you back from becoming a moderator if you choose to do that and take ownership of that group. So I don't know if you wanted to jump in on there or not. So I'm encouraging you guys that you think about what we're kind of putting out there for you, that you take ownership of Team True Blue's Facebook groups, whether it's Team True Blue itself or Life Biohacked. You guys know that Life Biohacked is for our customers or would-be future customers. And Team True Blue is for our distributors once someone has joined us as a team. They both have specific purposes, and it's up to you to decide if you want to have the mentality that you're not just going to watch what goes on there. You're going to be the person that controls and participates with what goes on there. And so that's in our social media world or our social network. But what about our physical network in the markets that we live in? How can you take on the core value that this is your company and this is your team and it's time for you to own it? How can you take on that mentality in your market? Well, there's kind of two thoughts there. You may be in a market where there is no upline. You may be in a market where there's no upline there, and it's relatively simple to own that. You just start doing the meetings, and when people start showing up at your meetings, then you're kind of the one controlling the market. There's also the situation where maybe you're in a market where there's a lot of upline or there's a lot of other distributors, and so how do you own that? And so jump in anytime you want to jump in on any of this stuff. So from the Tampa market, I'll just tell you this, guys. It's the oldest standing market for Team True Blue. It's where Team True Blue started in Tampa. And at times, I think we had a premier school. And for some of you guys that don't know what premier school is, that's what it was known as before lead schools or before LifeVantage academies. It was premier school for a number of years. We had a premier school with close to 500. I think it was 470-ish people in attendance. Oh, it was over 400 people for sure. We were at the University of South Florida in one of their bigger auditoriums. It was packed. Well, our last lead school was nowhere near that attendance. And so some people will say, well, what's wrong with Tampa? What's wrong with the Tampa market? And I'll say, I'm so grateful for where we are today. And it leaves a puzzled look on their face because they're thinking Tampa. Well, what's happened is True Blue has expanded way outside of Tampa. Getting a phone call from a contractor. So when we had over 400 plus people in Tampa at a premier school, we didn't Canada wasn't even on the map in LifeVantage. Like all the leadership and all the amazing teams that we have in Canada weren't even in existence yet, right? And so not only have we expanded outside of Tampa, we've expanded into other markets. Team True Blue has expanded into Canada. It's expanded into Asia. It's expanded into Australia. It's expanded into Spain. And so by just natural expansion and leadership, I would much rather having 3,000 or 4,000 people attending trainings globally than just 400 people in one market. That kind of makes sense from a number standpoint, right? So what's happened in Tampa is what happens in any other market or any other company. And it's as Darren Jensen, our CEO, explained, it's really a matter of influencers, right? And that's what Darren was basically saying at our last Elite Academy is it's time for you guys to own it. It's time to be an influencer. And we certainly encourage that behavior at Team True Blue. And so in Tampa, I'm just using Tampa as an example because I just had this conversation. The conversation was basically, listen, wouldn't it be nice if the majority of that room was your team? I was talking to a specific person. And I told them, there's nothing holding you back. There's nothing holding you back from owning the Tampa market. The Tampa market is not about the Cunninghams or the Graves or any of the other elite distributors that were in Tampa. In fact, the comment was there was not that many elite distributors at the lead school. And my reply to that was, well, that's because they were out building other markets. They were out where they should be building other markets. Elite distributors did not become elite distributors by accident. They're very intentional. And so owning a market is not in anyone's control but you. You get to own the market. And so I can promise you that if you're in a market where there's upline and there's elite distributors, they would love to walk into the next training and there's double the amount of training and it doubled because of someone in their organization. What they would not like to see is that they walk into the next training and the attendance doubled and it's someone else's organization from somewhere else in the other part of the world or country. And that's exactly what will happen in your market. I don't know where you're listening to this, whether it's Canada, Louisiana, the Carolinas, wherever. If you don't decide to own your market, somebody else will. I can tell you every day I wake up wanting to get more market share in whatever market our team is in.
Well, and along with the core value of owning it, there's a level of pride that you have when you take ownership of something. And
you might need to talk louder or get closer because your voice, you're kind of far from the microphone.
Okay, all right. So
I'm like right here, and you guys are like, whoa, he's close and loud.
Okay. So there's a level of pride that you have when you take ownership of something. And so you take extra steps, you take initiative, you take it personally. And that's the whole messaging behind that core value that is so applicable in your market because you do things that you wouldn't do if you weren't taking ownership. And the value that you can bring is substantial and you'll reap the benefits of it without a doubt, no matter how many other leaders are in that market. You know, I think about like a training that you attend or a presentation that you attend, and there's always going to be those people who walk in the room and sit down, distributors who walk in the room and sit down, and that's it. It's like they just showed up at a movie and they're waiting for the movie to start. That's not what our events are about. They're about networking and creating a feeling of being a part of something and a culture. And when you've taken ownership And when you're showing pride, you don't do that. You walk in and you're going with intention to make the most of that day, even if it's not for people in your organization. Wouldn't you love that if you walked a guest in the room and there happened to be no one there in the room from your immediate upline or downline, but there were other people in the room from LifeVantage, and they came up and welcomed your guest and, asked some questions and engaged them and made them feel warm and fuzzy? Like, that's the value we can all bring. That's the pride I'm talking about, and that's the ownership that we're talking about. And when everybody does that, we all create something that others want to be a part of, and everybody wins. So that's the value.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago on a training, I think I told you guys about washing and waxing a rental car. And the purpose behind that, or the reason we give that visual effect, that analogy, is that we don't wash and wax a rental car because we don't own it. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about taking ownership. And ownership of this team it's up to you. You guys, everybody listening to our voice right now, whether you believe it or not, whether you believe it's true or not, has everything to do with if you're going to do it. But at the next event, you guys could have more people at that event than you had at the last event. And if you continue that, eventually you could be the largest organization within Team True Blue, percentage-wise. In fact, I still to this day talk to our uplines and kind of figuring out what their volumes are and knowing what my volume is. And I'm always trying to gain market share. I know what percentage we were in volume of Tyler and Marcel's business, which is the top of our organization. And every month I would say, okay, what was your volume this month? And I would be able to calculate, are we catching them? Are we gaining market share, or are we losing market share? So I want you guys to think about that. I'm proud of all of you that are participating inside of Life Biohacked and participating inside of Team True Blue. I'm proud of all of you that are doing meetings and taking market share. And some of you are even traveling to take market share. Like I know Stacy King's gone up to Michigan a few times. I'm so proud of Stacy for that. She wants market share. Well, let me tell you, Lynette and I were in Michigan years ago. I had a small team that I supported. I think it's South Lyons. I think that's the name of the little city outside of Detroit. Years and years ago. Great guy up there. It just didn't pan out for them. And it is what it is for them. They made a personal decision. I made a few trips up there. And that goes back way back, right? And so not much has happened in Michigan since then. We do have some distributors here. I know some of you are from Michigan, so please don't take any offense to what I'm saying. Other than this, I do know Holly's groups up there in Michigan, and they went over Pro 5 and almost pushing Pro 6 volume, and that is the largest team that we've ever had in Michigan. And so now we are gaining market share in Michigan, and I'm excited about that. And it's taken years for it to catch on and find someone that wants to work with us. And that's just one example. Last week, I went out, I think that was last week, and did a live meeting. I've done live meetings 3 weeks ago. It's been Clearwater. Oh, last week I was in Sarasota, did a live meeting in Sarasota because I want the market in Sarasota. I want to own it. And when I say I mean us, okay? I want to own Sarasota. I don't want there to be a meeting in Sarasota, Florida with 100 people and be 20 from my team. That's ridiculous. So I did a live meeting. The week before that, I went out and did a live meeting in Clearwater because I want to own it. But if I don't do the meetings in Clearwater and I don't do the meetings in Sarasota, I even went to Jacksonville, Florida the week before that, right? So I'm telling you guys because I still want market share while we can get it. And guys, the train is leaving the station.
I was just going to say, someone asked what market share is. It's basically you walk into a room, there's 100 distributors in there. What percentage of that is in your organization? What market share do you have of that room? Somebody was asking.
Cool.
That.
So yeah, your market, and what's your share of the market? So where do you live? That's your market. Okay. And then outside of that, of course, I don't want to complicate this, but this is a global thing, right? But I like for people to start local, because that's how the easiest way to create momentum. If you don't have momentum, the easiest way to create momentum is in your city, because it's there. You can go do lunches, you can do meetings. It's harder to create momentum in your group in New York if you live in Texas. It's just harder. I'm just telling you, okay? That's why we went to Spain. We went to Spain to create momentum. It's much easier to create momentum in this country. So we went there, and we did. We created momentum there, right? So just think about that, guys, that this is your team. This isn't our team, isn't the elite teams. It's not who was here before you. It's as much your team right now as anybody else. It's up for grabs if you will take core value number 6 to heart. I don't think we've ever talked that long about a core value, but I think it just meshes with kind of our thought process for this week and this month. And so let's talk about customer acquisition. Guys, make sure you're on tonight at 8 p.m. I'm so excited because when we started brainstorming this thing, we all got excited about bringing on the best of the best inside of Team True Blue with customer acquisition. There are going to be people on tonight that have over $6,000 in customers, personal. Some have over $4,000 in personal customers. Some have over $2,000. Now, I know there's others out there with over $2,000. I just picked a few, but what we're going to do after this, I'm going to do interviews, 5 to 7 minute interviews with each one of them individually, and we're going to post those inside of Team True Blue as well. So we're going to interview probably 10 people. You're going to be inundated with all of the pros of Team True Blue and what they're doing with information so you can duplicate what they're doing. And that's the key, is we're going to be talking about things that you can do to duplicate, not some crazy, like, you know, yes, we do have physicians that have thousands and thousands of dollars in PV. I'm not going to interview them because you're going to say, well, I'm not a physician. And you're right, I'm not a physician. So if it's just their patients that they're putting on, that's not duplicatable. We love that, but it's not duplicatable. And so we will only be kind of sharing things that you can do that will duplicate. So make sure you're on that. But Lynette, talk about a little bit. We had a question about a couple weeks ago about customer retention. So we're going to show you guys how to get customers to join. Let's talk about once they join, how we keep them.
Well, I think for one thing, you know, there's a few different things that can be done, but for starters, setting expectation as to what they can expect. So if we're talking only about Protandim Nerve 2, which now we have such amazing products that you do see results from right away, but a lot of times people don't see results from Protandim Nerve 2 and they start to question if it's working. Well, if a person takes Protandim Nerve 2 and quits because they think it wasn't working, that just means that you did not help them to set an expectation. So when I enroll a new customer, and that's the only product they want to be on, if they're coupling it with something else, it's a different story. But if Protandim Nerve 2 is the only thing they want to be on, then I always give them an analogy of getting an oil change on a car. And I think I do that just because people usually remember analogies. And so I say, you know, we get an oil change in our car every 3,000 miles. When we pull into Jiffy Lube and hand over $50, we don't pull out a Jiffy Lube going, oh man, my car is running so much better. I'm so glad I spent $50. No, it drives the exact same way it did prior to the oil change. But it's been proven that if you change your oil every 3,000 miles, your car will last longer. It'll run better. That's why you take Protandim. And so when I enroll a new customer on just that product, I give them that analogy. I want them to know that they may feel something or they may not. But no matter what, it's working because it's been proven to do so. So that's one thing you can do to ensure that your customer is not going to stop taking it because it's not working, right? Another thing you can do is really treat them like a VIP. We've talked about that in the past, right? Treat them like a special customer. Send them a little thank you note. Let them know that you appreciate their business. follow up with them and just say, hey, how's it going? Because you never know. Maybe they had something weird happen and they're blaming Protandim for it. They stopped taking it. You call them and you're able to just have a little interaction and conversation and discern, well, I guess now that we've conversed about it, it really wasn't Protandim at all. I forgot this, this, and that. You may have just saved your customer. Or, you know, I can think of a bazillion different examples, but what you're accomplishing is that you're making them feel important. You potentially are overcoming obstacles that would stop you from having a customer. And you're keeping that rapport. So they're less inclined to just cancel it for no good reason. Another thing you can do is, well,
we've got inside of Team...
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, so go ahead.
Inside of Team True Blue, there's a PDF under Tools that you can give to your new customers specifically on Nerf 2. Okay, we're talking Nerf 2, the car analogy, Nerf 2 for most of our products. Because let's face it, Nerf 2 is our flagship product. It's what majority of our team is on. It's the foundation, right, for what our products are based on, cellular activation. And so there's a PDF in there explaining what you might feel when you start taking Nerf 2. And it was a PDF that was actually created by Dr. Don D. Nettles. I'll give him a shout out and some credit there. So go find that. It's at Team True Blue. Why don't you make a habit of sending that link or having the PDF already printed and giving it to your customer? And if they're not local, send them the link. Or get the download and send it to them in a JPEG or something.
Well, and it'd be great, like when you do that follow-up call, if they do have concerns, well, you can say, well, look, listen, let me send you this PDF a doctor compiled. And so it's a great way to follow up as well and keep that going. The
other thing is, Lynette talked about the VIP treatment. Everybody loves the VIP treatment, guys. And so I get daily, not weekly, not monthly, daily, I get text message and emails about eBay and Amazon. I get it daily. So I'm not going to dive into what the company's doing. They're very aggressive there. You may not believe it, but they are very aggressive with trying to help us deal with something that's never going away. It is what it is. People shopping on the internet is never going away. It's only going to get bigger. And we have to be, as core value number 5, right? We got to be solution seekers. Keep our paddles in the water, right? Let's not focus. We know what the trend is. So how do you battle that? Well, here's what your customers can never get on eBay or Amazon. Here's what they can never get. They can never get a personal phone call from you, all right? Showing them how to use the products. Sharing with them some of the stories that they've had. Or, I think Lynette's got a sample in her hand. They're not going to get samples.
That's what I was going to say. That's the other thing. You know why this is on my desk right now? Because I'm sending it to a customer. I've put together, I already know some interest that's there. So I'm going to feed that. I'm going to send her some samples and let her start benefiting from it. We get no PV. You guys, we get no PV from these samples. But if she orders, big PV, right? So it's worth the investment. The other thing that you were talking about of not getting like that customer service, so to speak, I have a customer whose father was taking 2 bottles a month of Protandim Nerf 2 because he was battling cancer. I kept following up with her, checking on him. When I got back from Spain, I messaged her, how's your dad? He passed away. It was severe. By the time we started this conversation, it was way far gone, but it was like, well, why not try? Nonetheless, I messaged her. I'm like, well, I know you were getting 2 bottles a month. You talked about continuing on it yourself, but I know you don't need 2 bottles. Can I help you in adjusting your order? Or do you need any assistance with that? And she was like, actually, I do. So I just sent her the links as to what to do. You're not gonna... Those are the things, you guys. My intention is that at some point she's going to be my business partner. And I'm taking her down this path to let her know that I value her and I want to work with her. That is what we do, right? So the other last thing that I had in my notes as far as things that can be done is customer appreciation events. Michelle Adkins on our team in Atlanta, her and Chip have customer appreciation events at their barn, and like make it a celebration, an event. People bring food, they come hang out. It's fun, it's culture.
And she invites distributors, right? She invites the team and tells her team to invite their customers. So don't think you got to do this by yourself.
Right.
Do this as a team. Get some local people together and then have a customer appreciation day.
Yeah, make it fun. And then you're able to sample stuff. You're able to let them see more of the product line, but you're also letting them see our culture. And people love being a part of something that feels good. And you guys know our people are amazing. So.
Pro tip, you ready? When you do your customer appreciation day, make sure you tell your customers to bring some friends with them. And if they bring some friends, you're going to give them even more free product.
Ooh, I like it.
Pro tip,
I like
Customer Appreciation Day, and tell your customers if they bring some friends with them to Customer Appreciation Day, you're going to give your friends some free product. Guys, that's a home run. If you've got customers that are engaging in distributor activity, that is priceless because you get all the money, okay? You get all the money. And so, pro tip, write that down. I hope you got that. So, Teresa Canavo, that was your question. And I hope some of that information helped you on customer retention. We gave you guys a ton there. And guys, I'm so stoked that there's so many of you on here live. Right now, 72 of you on here live.
That's awesome.
You remember where it started?
Yeah, that's great.
When we transferred from Zoom into here, I think we were in the 20s live. And so I know a lot of people are at work, but it's gaining steam. It's gaining some momentum there. And we don't take it lightly. We appreciate this team so greatly. And guys, please take core value to heart today. If you got this midway, make sure you watch it from the very beginning. Don't just say, oh, I got the lie. You missed a lot of great stuff at the beginning of this if you're just getting on here. So, but for all of you that are on here live, thank you. If you're getting it on replay, let us know you got it on replay. Tonight's going to be phenomenal. Just phenomenal.
So 8 o'clock is the green.
How to get the green light in your app, right? How to go green, right?
How to go green. Green.
Give me the green light. if you're a pit bull fan, give me the green light.
So that's at 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock is, of course, the Zoom that you guys should be inviting your guests to. Fred is hosting that tonight. So plan on making it a business night, y'all.
Yep, and go get some market value, guys. Go get some market share. I'm going to be out on the East Coast of Florida on Wednesday night because I want to own the East Coast, and I'm going to be helping some of our teammates make sure they're the ones that are owning the East Coast and not someone from some other organization owning the East Coast of Florida. So do your part, guys. This is your team. It's not Lynette and I's team. We just were part of the founders of, is that the same word? Founding fathers?
Founding fathers, I think.
A lot of F's there. So you guys have a great day. Enjoyed having you guys on here with us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Take care, guys. Bye.